before you snack on some strawberries, make sure you wash them well.
Third year in a row, strawberries on top of the Dirty Dozen list.
The women say they're victims of modern slavery.
Coming to Spain was the worst thing I ever did.
They say they were sexually assaulted by their bosses.
That girl's so sweet, just like her name. Strawberry shortcake.
At Georgia's Southern Belle Farm, it's the start of peach picking season. But a favorite tradition could be in jeopardy.
Typically, we see peaches just almost falling off at this point.
I mean, just hanging, the trees are weighted down.
Fifth-generation farmer Jake Carter says this year's harvest is one of the worst he's ever seen. The cause? An unseasonably warm winter. Last February was one of the warmest ever recorded in Georgia, triggering some of the state's peach trees to bloom early. But then a cold spell hit, killing the crop and essentially ending the season before it really even started.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me here, Lavender here, and I'm back with another anti-capitalism deep dive true crime video. Today I'm going to be doing the pure evil files of the peach and strawberry industry files. Deep dive into this topic: capitalism, pollution, wage slavery, true crime, etc. So let's get started into this YouTube video. But before I get started, all my YouTube videos that are related to this topic right now will be linked down in the YouTube description of this video down below for more, as well as also on the screen right now if you'd like to check them out. So let's get started in this YouTube video topic. Strawberries are a tasty summer delight, featured in everything from jams to smoothies to the iconic strawberry shortcake cartoon. They're so popular too, with the average American consuming around 8 pounds of strawberries every single year. A group of migrant workers from Barbados is speaking out about the capitalism abuses they faced on British strawberry farms. They report being forced to work long hours for less pay than they were promised and charged for poor and dirty accommodations. "It doesn't matter how you look at it. Every day I am here, I feel like a slave," said one person. They came to the UK in June as part of the government-backed UK farm labour program, but now they want to return back to their home country after facing horrendous capitalism working conditions. One farmer, Romero Bryan, even said former managers and supervisors, "The only thing these people are missing is the whips and chains." The Voice has seen a payslip confirming some workers were just paid £39 after working 2 days at the end of June. According to the document, a Cavan accommodation charge of £29 was deducted, which left workers with only £5. Mr. Bryan revealed while working at the farms, he struggled to live on the wages he was paid and survived some weeks on, as in food-wise, only on eggs and water. Mr. Bryan says he reported an incident when he was spit on by an Eastern European worker while trying to pick strawberries. Other workers from Barbados say Eastern European supervisors ordered them to pick strawberries from plants with the fewest fruit, resulting in them earning less than European pickers because their wages were often calculated and determined by the volume of strawberries picked. In addition to the number of workers from Barbados say that they were coerced into coming to the UK on an open ticket, which has left them stranded and unable to afford to buy a ticket to return to their native homeland country. Christopher Griffith from Cordelia, UK, the agency for strawberry farms, released a statement dismissing the claims of mistreatment, saying the claims of slavery are false. "I have over 100 workers across UK farms that have not had any complaints." The strawberry fields of Nida Molana in Greece have been in the human rights spotlight since May 2013, when workers they had been promised a wage of €22, but for months they worked without pay, under the supervision of armed guards between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. every day, and later 3 local field guards shot and injured 30 Bangladeshi migrant workers. Animacity International visited the strawberry farm shortly after this incident and observed horrendous conditions where migrant workers were living. And, some of the migrant workers were in their early teens, lived in crowded sheds without access to clean running water or sanitation facilities. In March 2017, the European Court of Human Rights ruled that the workers had been subjected to forced labor and that Greece had violated Article 4 of European Convention on Human Rights by not preventing human trafficking of irregular migrant workers. Around 17,000, mostly female women workers, Moroccan African seasonal workers were supposed to come this year in southern Spanish province of Helvala for the strawberry harvest. Only 7,200 of these so-called temporary workers made it there after the borders with Morocco were closed on March 13th due to the coronavirus pandemic crisis. But once the harvest season finished, their contracts expired. Most of them have found themselves trapped in the country, as their home countries kept its doors closed and refused to open them for them. Apart from seasonal pickers, mostly from Morocco, Poland, Romania, and Bulgaria, hundreds of sub-Saharan African migrants live year-round in shoddy towns close to the fields. Last February, a visit to the camps, the United Nations reporter on extreme poverty and human rights said, "They live like animals. Their conditions are among the worst that I've ever seen in any part of the world." Farm workers in California have described strawberry farming as perhaps even worse than the strawberry pollution itself. From a farm worker's perspective, is that strawberries are lowered to the ground, requiring perpetual squatting and constant squatting position. "I can't stand it," she said. Her husband, Oscar Hernandez, 35, said first-timers become so stiff they cannot sit, not even on the toilet. George Tolino, 30 years old, another strawberry picker who belongs to the Mixteco Indigena Community Organizing Project, said consumers tended not to see beyond the brightly colored little plastic boxes, which are packed directly in the field and shipped to supermarkets. They don't ask how it got to their table. Laborers also complain of unpaid wages, aka wage theft once again, extortion in the form of having to serve 3 days unpaid apprenticeship to land a job, and lack of protective equipment such as gloves, goggles, and masks. The environmental impact of strawberries. Researchers have found that plastic mulch used to support the growth of Californian strawberries sheds large quantities of plastic mulch fragments. These particles have been shown to negatively impact soil quantities and qualities. How does the strawberry industry affect the loss of habitable land? The service area for strawberry production as of 2019 was around 400,000 acres. This has been the result of land clearance of forests and other fragile ecosystem lands. Because the global strawberry market sector industry is expected to rise, deforestation for strawberry farming is ongoing. How does the strawberry industry affect wildlife and biodiversity? Besides habitat or land loss from deforestation, strawberry farmers also frequently destroy habitats in the surrounding areas of the farms out of food safety concerns, particularly birds. Strawberries have been rated the worst offender when it comes to pesticides. Pesticides pollute the groundwater, meaning that excess water is required to clean them up, leading to a higher water footprint. The pesticide used causes This includes stimulating invasive algae growths in water supplies, which can lead to harmful dead zones. Strawberries are typically packaged in plastic. Plastic has a devastating consequence on the environment as a whole, such as affecting ocean life, wildlife on land, and creating toxic microplastic pollution that get into groundwater and food and end up in human bodies and animal bodies. Strawberry farming has caused significant deforestation and habitat loss due to land clearance. For example, the Daytona wetlands in Spain have been greatly affected by strawberry farming. They have been protected since 1969, but in 2022 were threatened by strawberry farmers pumping their water for irrigation purposes. These kinds of threats have given the strawberry industry sector a negative historical track record. The peach is an inescapable emblem of Georgia in the United States, embezzled on t-shirts, mugs, I voted stickers, and highway billboards welcoming visitors to the state. It shows up on street signs and business names, in festivals and New Year's celebrations. Since the state's governor, E.D. Rivers, signed the legislation authorizing license plates to advertise, popularize, and otherwise promote Georgia as the peach state, and in 1995, Georgia officially recognized the peach as its state fruit. Around 625.7 thousand tons of peaches are produced in the U.S. every year. Whether you enjoy some juicy peaches during August, National Peach Month, etc., The peach also reflects a bitter racial history when the fascist American government turned into ethnic cleansing in the late 1700s to eradicate the indigenous population of the eastern United States. They went for the peach orchards, burning and chopping down thousands of trees to prevent indigenous people from returning to their land. Less than a century later, the same tactic was used in the Southwest, where tribes including the Navajo Nation have also cultivated abundant peach orchards for centuries. They too were burned to the ground and logged. While the Navajo were forced to walk almost 400 miles in the winter to an internment camp. Aside from the carefully cultivated native indigenous orchards, peaches were generally and widely regarded by colonialists as a weed. Because they grow so easily and rapidly, the wild trees took over the vast swells of untended land, forcing settlers to clear them in order to use the land as farmland. In the late 17th and early 18th centuries, farmers complained of their invasiveness and difficulty of clearing them from unclaimed land. Ironically, one of the probable reasons for the fruit took hold so rapidly was because a particular favorite of wild hogs, which just like peaches had been haphazardly introduced to North America by Hernando del Santo. Even in the lead up to the Civil War, peaches were seen as a pesky invasive species. There were accounts of runaway slaves relying on them as a food source during their journey to freedom in the North. But to the rest of Georgia's colonizer population, they were only good for brandy, aka alcohol, and hog feed. Crops such as cotton, tobacco, and corn were the agricultural heart of Georgia the state. Even though many black Georgians could not afford to start peach orchards, they were the driving force behind the industry. As the peach market grew, black laborers remained exploited, underpaid, and the targets of increasingly brutal hate crime racism. In the 1880s, the daily wage for farm labor was about only 95 cents. One story from the period tells of a landowner who found 3 black children with a handful of peaches from his orchard and demanded $7 per peach from their father, promising to send them to a chain gang if they ever stepped on his land and returned again. In 1899, for instance, a record year for the peach growing season, Georgia witnessed 27 lynch mobs. Faced with the decline of the tenant system, Georgia's peach industry came to accept the crew bosses, labor contractors who organized a work group, a group of young men from Haiti or migrant families from Mexico, in exchange for a commission. The crew boss system is ripe for capitalism abuse and exploitation. Reports of overcrowded housing, wage theft, and sexual harassment are sadly commonplace. In Georgia, like most states, farm laborers still do not have a legal right to a day of rest, overtime pay, or collective bargaining. The environmental costs of peaches. Peach farms have been found to contribute significantly to soil erosion. Soil erosion can severely damage the ecosystem and lands that they are farmed on. Monocultures are very damaging to biodiversity. They limit the growth of many important soil microbes and deplete pollinators of the diverse nutrients they need to thrive. This disrupts the whole ecosystem. Peaches use a significant amount of pesticides as well. This means a high amount of water is needed in order to clean up the residues, so the gray water footprint is especially high. Pesticides are also a major water pollutant as well. The fact that peaches use a significant amount of pesticide means that their runoff will likely end up in water sources and cause damage to marine life, creating dead zones and promoting algae growth. Which wildlife species have been negatively impacted or displaced because of the peach production industry? A significant number of natural species in China have been destroyed to make way for agriculture, many of which are habitats for wild animals. Habitat loss is the leading cause of endangered species and biodiversity loss, and so many species in this area have become threatened. Some endangered species in China include South China tigers, Asian elephants, and the Sumatra rhinos.